Hi, my name is Camille and I work at the Thomas Crane Public Library. Today I will be talking about Furious Hours, Murder, Fraud, and the Last Trial of Harper Lee by Casey Sepp. The novel is basically 3 stories in one that are all connected. The first part is about a Reverend Willie Maxwell who killed multiple family members after taking life insurance policies out on them. The second part is about a lawyer, Tom Radney, who defended the Reverend and ended up defending the man who eventually killed the Reverend. And the last part of the novel is about the life of Harper Lee. To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my favorite books, and I have always been fascinated with the life of Harper Lee. She wrote this Pulitzer Prize-winning novel and then shied away from the public eye for years and years. So this part of the book was my favorite because I learned some facts about Lee I didn't know before. Casey Sepp writes about Lee's journey when investigating this would-be true crime novel of the Reverend, her friendship with Truman Capote, and some speculation surrounding why this novel was never published. Along with having multiple storylines, it has multiple genres in one. If you enjoy true crime, history, investigative journalism, and biographies, I would definitely recommend this book. Thank you.
My name is Jessie. I work for the Thomas Crane Public Library. Every evening I put down whatever book I'm reading and pick up an anthology of poetry. Lately it's a collection by Garrison Keillor titled Good Poems for Hard Times. Some, like The Summer Camp Bus Pulls Away from the Curb by Sharon Olds, or Calling Your Father by Robert Bly, I've read many times. But the great thing about a good poem, and that would be any poem that for some hard-to-explain reason speaks to you, is that you can read it again and again and not get to the bottom of it. An evening stroll through categories like Let It Spill or Such as It Is, More or Less, is not my only daily dose of poetry. Every morning I listen to Garrison Keillor's The Writer's Almanac, which always ends with a poem. And then there are the books on my shelf, a few by former poet laureate Billy Collins, whose simple and accessible language turns up unexpected meaning and humor in the life around us, and a collection by the late prize-winning poet Mary Oliver, who, in the words of one critic, helps push her readers beyond their own sense of emotional quarantine. If you don't think of yourself as a poetry reader, Oliver and Collins are 2 poets who might just change your mind. You can find works by both of them on Overdrive and Hoopla. These are digital platforms that you can access using your library card through the Thomas Crane Public Library website. In the words of Christopher Fry, poetry is the language in which man explores his own amazement. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Miss Laurie from the Thomas Crane Public Library, and I'm here today to recommend a series of books by Eileen Cristobal about the 5 little monkeys. So generally monkeys get into a lot of mischief, and these monkeys do too. So whether they're jumping on the bed or teasing Mr. Crocodile, you'll find lots of fun and laughter with these books. And they're available on the library's Hoopla app, which you can access with your library card. And today I would like to read 5 Little Monkeys Sitting in a Tree by Eileen Cristobal. Five little monkeys and their mama walk down to the river for a picnic supper. Mama spreads out a blanket and settles down for a snooze, while 5 little monkeys climb a tree to watch Mr. Crocodile. 5 little monkeys sitting in a tree tease Mr. Crocodile, can't catch me. Along comes Mr. Crocodile and snap. Oh no, where is she? 4 little monkeys sitting in a tree tease Mr. Crocodile, can't catch me. Along comes Mr. Crocodile. Snap. Oh no, where is he? 3 little monkeys sitting in a tree tease Mr. Crocodile, can't catch me. Along comes Mr. Crocodile. Snap. Oh no, where is he? 2 little monkeys sitting in a tree tease Mr. Crocodile, can't catch me. Along comes Mr. Crocodile. Snap. Oh no, where is she? Now there's only one little monkey sitting in the tree, teasing Mr. Crocodile, can't catch me. Along comes Mr. Crocodile. Snap. Oh no, there are no little monkeys sitting in the tree. But wait, look. I see some tails hanging down. There are faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little monkeys sitting in the tree. Their mama hugs them. Their mama scolds them. Never tease a crocodile. It's not nice and it's dangerous. Then 5 little monkeys and their mama eat a delicious picnic supper. And they do not tease Mr. Crocodile again. But what are they holding out to him? Some food that he might want to snap up. And that's 5 little monkeys sitting in a tree. Right? 5 Little Monkeys Jumping on the Bed by Eileen Christolau. It was bedtime, so 5 little monkeys took a bath. 5 little monkeys put on their pajamas. 5 little monkeys brushed their teeth. 5 little monkeys said goodnight to their mama. And then 5 little monkeys jumped on the bed. And one fell off and bumped his head. Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more monkeys jumping on the bed." But 4 little monkeys jumped on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more monkeys jumping on the bed." So 3 little monkeys jumped on the bed. One fell off and bumped her head. Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more monkeys jumping on the bed." So 2 little monkeys jumped on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more monkeys jumping on the bed." So 1 little monkey jumped on the bed. She fell off and bumped her head. The mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more monkeys jumping on the bed." So 5 little monkeys fell fast asleep. "Thank goodness," said the mama. "Now I can go to bed." What's she doing though? She's jumping on the bed. Hope she doesn't fall off. So that's 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.
Welcome. My name is Amanda, and I'm one of the children's librarians at the Thomas Crane Public Library in Quincy, Massachusetts. This video is part of our DIY Children's Program resources. For more program resources, as well as ebooks, streaming movies, TV, music, and much more, please visit thomascranelibrary.org. Today, we're going to do a geometry activity making tessellations. Look at a tile floor and you'll see a tessellation. When we lay out shapes closely together so there are no gaps in between, that's a tessellation. You can do this with lots of regular geometric shapes, like squares, triangles, and hexagons. But what happens when it comes to more complex shapes? How do you make sure they always lock together correctly? I'll show you how. For this activity, you only need a couple of things. You need some heavy paper or cardboard, a pencil, a pair of scissors and an adult to help, some tape, and some regular paper to draw on. Let's get everything together and get started. Before we do anything else, let's look at tessellations with regular shapes. First, I'm going to take out some hexagons. You can see that they fit together very nicely. Now let's see what happens And we try some trapezoids. Those also fit together very nicely. What about diamonds? They sure do. All of these regular shapes will fit together very neatly. Sometimes you can combine them. See how there's no gap right here. Now, let's try making something a little more complicated. We're going to start with our heavy paper. I'm using an old folder. Get an adult to help you cut out a square using this paper. You may need a ruler to get it just the right size. I don't want my square to be too big because I want to make sure that I can fit lots of my tessellation onto one piece of paper. I'm just going to use my ruler to help me tighten things up a little bit. I'm going to make it 2 inches by 2 inches. If you have a bigger piece of paper, you can definitely make your tessellation bigger to start with. Now I have my square, but a square isn't a very complex shape. How do I make this more interesting? Now I'm going to draw on my square. Let's see. I think on this side, I'm going to add a triangle. And up here, I'm going to add a circle. Notice that I've only added something to the top and to the right. If you add something to the right, you don't want to add something to the left. And if you add something at the top, you don't want to add something at the bottom. Now, we're going to cut these pieces out. Don't throw them away. You're going to want to keep these. Now that I've cut out my shapes, I need to add them to the other side so all of this will link together. I'm going to make it fit exactly where it goes so that it matches the other side where I cut it out. Now you're going to take a small piece of tape and tape your shape together. Now we're going to do the same thing with the little circle that I made. You might need to look very closely to figure out where exactly you fit it in. Now you see that's not a square anymore. It's a little more complicated. Well, now that we have that, we're going to take our paper and start at one side. We're going to trace our shape. This is why we needed the heavier paper to start with. If we use regular paper, it probably will get all crumpled up. Now we've drawn our shape on our paper. Then we take our tessellation template and move it to the side and draw it again. Now I have two of my shape. Let's make 4. Now let's try going down here. You don't have to be perfect when you're doing this. Don't worry about making some mistakes. You'll notice as we go that we're starting to make more of our shape. As we go, you can see there's the top of our shape made by the bottom of the previous shape. Let's do one more. I could cover this entire paper with this shape if I wanted to. And you can definitely do that when you do this on your own. Look at what I've made. I've made a tessellation with my new complex shape. You can make all sorts of shapes like this. All you need is some paper, some pencils, some scissors, and some tape, and some time. Try making some of these on your own, then color them in. See what sorts of patterns you can make. Have fun with your tessellations, and we'll see you next time.
Hi, and welcome to Boredom Busters with Miss Sam. Today we're going to be doing a very special DIY project. We're going to be making our very own pool tables out of recycled materials. Whether you just need a break to keep the kids entertained at home, or if you have adults that are driving you crazy at home too. So let's get started by looking at our materials. So the first thing you're going to need is a surface to put your pool table on. I have here a TV tray. I'm just lucky enough to have one. I use it all the time. But if you don't have a TV tray, you can get more into the recycled spirit and use a cardboard box or a portion of a table. You probably don't want to use your nice dining room table for this, so anything that can handle having a bit of duct tape on it, basically. But you're going to want to start out with some tape, and I'm using just some like fancy schmancy gold duct tape, because I'm just fancy like that. And you're just going to want to tape along the edges of the table or whatever surface you're using, your cardboard box, whatever, and leave it like a couple inches hanging off. That's going to be where we're going to be putting our pool table holes and stuff like that. So I'm just going to finish taping up the rest of the edges of this table, and we're just going to do that. And this is a great thing if you wanted to make it, if you're having like a birthday party, or where you need some activities for the kids, or even a party for adults, like, I don't know, like a cheap 4th of July type of thing, indoor 4th of July situation. Plus these are a lot lighter than any sort of pool table that you'll find on the market, that's for sure. I once had to move a pool table with a coworker, and It took 2 of us and a dolly, and let's just say it was a very difficult task even for 2 strong women to accomplish. Okay, so I have my edges all taped, so that's great. And the next thing you're gonna need is some sort of container for your pool balls to go in it. And you can either use, like, a can is good enough if you have like a lot of extra cans from all the canned goods you've been buying. Those are really good to use. But I don't have enough cans, so I'm going to be using Solo cups, and you can use any other cups that you have at home as well. And what you're going to want to do with these cups is just take them and use the tape that's kind of peeking over the edge, and just tape the cups like that, and curve them into the cups just like that. And the duct tape should be sturdy enough. If it needs more tape, feel free to add it. But mine are looking okay. Good enough, as we say. And I'm just gonna finish taping these up. And we have an extra, but that's okay. Also, if you wanted to get creative about this, you could make your pool table into different shapes, like an octagonal pool table, or a triangle pool table, and you can challenge your kids to make different shapes like that. Kind of a math situation. So now I have my pool table, which is great, but one thing we do need is a pool stick. So I don't know about you, but I don't really have pool sticks lying around my house. So I'm going to be making my pool stick out of paper towel and toilet paper rolls, which I'm sure from all the toilet paper that people have been buying, you might have a couple rolls in the house. So again, we're just going to be using the duct tape, and you don't have to make your pool stick out of toilet paper rolls or whatever rolls you got. You can make it out of anything, honestly, and get creative with it. I mean, that's basically what this whole thing is about. Just using materials that you have and making the most out of them and out of the situation. So I don't want my pool stick to be that, oh my gosh, I need like another hand. I don't want my pool stick to be that long, because the table's not that big. You don't need it to be that big. Honestly, I could have just left it as the paper towel roll, but I wanted to be fancy, and it looks a lot more like a pool stick if I have it like this. So there we go, we got one. And you know what, I'm not going to use the other one. You can adapt your recipe as you go. Don't be afraid. So now we have our pool stick, but if with the ball that I'm going to use, which let me grab that. The ball is about this size, but if I just use it, it's kind of just going to get stuck in there, and that's not very pool sticky. So I'm also going to be using some recycled aluminum foil that I've been using with some cooking projects and stuff, to just kind of make a covering like cut out a little covering for the top so that I can put it across and it will be more like a flat surface to hit the ball with. And I'm just going to pull that so we're just like that. And some more duct tape is definitely necessary. Duct tape is always necessary, honestly. What is it people say? What can't duct tape fix? Or duct tape can fix everything, basically. So I'm just gonna tape that around. And it might not look the best, so if you want to dress up your pool stick, you can. If you want a color, that's fine. I'm one of those people that don't have crayons at home, so we're just making do with what we have. And being grateful for what we have. So now I have my pool stick, and it looks pretty okay. It kind of looks like a sparkler or like a rocket. and I'm about ready to try this out. So let's see if I can get a little, I don't even know what you call it. I'm gonna call the corner pocket, and we'll see if I can get it in. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll give it another tap. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Yay! And this is something that you could play with the whole family, just with a couple of friends, if you live with roommates, or heck, even by yourself. So, please enjoy and have fun with it. And let me know how it goes. Anyway, this is Miss Sam, and this is our pool table boredom buster.
Hello, this is Mrs. Tennyson, the librarian at Atlantic Middle School, and I'm here to talk to you about Opposing Viewpoints, one of the Gale databases that the Thomas Crane Library has. If we go to Thomas Crane Public Library and go to Teens and Homework Help, then click on Databases, we can scroll down to Opposing Viewpoints. Just to keep in mind, this database is especially useful when doing debates or trying to find different perspectives on a current issue. Like all Gale and Context databases, it's set up with the search bar at the very top, and then issues of interest and general issues down lower on the page. For today's example, we're just going to look up something on the search bar. Once we get to this page, we can filter our results either by type, which is up at the top, or over here, more specifically by publication date, subjects, reading level, or content level. We can also search within this topic to make it more specific. For today's example, we're just going to choose the first result. One of the nice things about Gale databases is the fact that we can change the language if we need to, the font size, or it can also be read aloud to us. Another thing that I enjoy is the fact that if we highlight text, we can keep that highlight to bring more attention to it later, take a note about it, or define the word that we've highlighted. Then we can find those highlights later up at the top. If we need to, we can also cite this work later on up at the top and change it from MLA to APA. We can also send it to a coworker, a friend, or a teacher. Download it for later use. This is especially helpful if you need to download it onto Google Classroom, or if you just want to be able to share the link, because this one up above is kind of a junk one. We'll click on Get Link and be able to select and share that. One of the other features that's nice is the fact that it also references more articles or related subjects on the side to help you find the information that you need. I hope this helps you. Good luck with your research.